Hi there, in this session we are here to discuss about respiration process and I will try to clear all your doubts related to respiration, and if all your doubts will be clear till the end of the session, please comment below as now I get it. So let's get started. So respiration is the process which happens in all living organisms, that is all living organisms respire. Fine. Why is this occurring? So main reason is to extract energy. The main reason is to extract the energy. Now, from where the energy is extracted, obviously we all take food, so the main energy is extracted from the food. Alright, food here is equal to the organic compounds. And the organic compounds, according to chemistry, the definition of organic compound is the compounds having carbon atoms. That means the carbon atoms will be having bonds, so we can write it like this: all the food materials have carbon in them and bonds between the carbon atoms. So if we say food has carbon atom bonds, and if we will break down these bonds, free energy will be released. The breaking down of the bonds will release free energy, and this free energy will be utilized in the formation of ATP. Yes, this ATP is the king here, the energy currency of a cell. This is nothing but adenine triphosphate. So let us see in brief how this is the energy currency of the cell. For example, for just our understanding, I am drawing this diagram. This is no real diagram of ATP, just for our understanding. If this has 3 phosphate groups attached, this is called as ATP. Alright, if I break any one of the phosphate bond, for example, I break this bond right here. If I break this bond, what will happen here? The remaining compound will be something like this, and this is having only 2 phosphate bond. So in the condition when adenine is having 3 phosphate bond attached, it is called ATP, and in the 2 phosphate condition it is called as ADP. So I am saying that ATP is converted into ADP, adenine diphosphate. So what is happening when I am breaking this bond between adenine and one of the phosphate? The energy is released. It is an exergonic process, energy is released. So this energy is utilized by the cell. So whenever the cell needs energy, it breaks down one of the phosphate bonds in the ATP, clear, and forms the ADP plus this phosphate bond which is released, it will remain free, plus obviously what is released? Energy, which will be required by you in doing many things. It depends upon you what you do. So ATP is converted into ADP. Now what if the cell wants ATP again? Simple, it's the vice versa rule. ADP plus PI will form ATP, and this process is very complex, and this is what we need to understand in this session. So now we are done with the process of ATP to ADP synthesis. Now we have to go through a very general formula. It is a very easy formula but very important to remember. It is oil rig. Yeah, just 2 words, and these 2 words can really sort your life out. Here it means oxidation is loss And here reduction is gain. Reduction is gain. And what is losing and what is gaining? The electrons. So this is a very basic formula, but to get into the depth of reduction and oxidation, we don't have much time, and it's a whole together a very long topic. So in brief, we can understand it like the oxidation. When we talk of oxidation, we say that over here, when we are talking about only the organic, so when we are talking about carbon atom, when the carbon atom bonds with more electronegative, bonds with more electronegative electronegative element, then it, in this case, it is called as oxidation. For example, it it when there is any loss of hydrogen or gain of oxygen, in this case also it is oxidation. So you will see many cases where there will be evidence following the point 1, and you will see many cases where there will be relation with point 2. So by seeing both of these points, you can say that this reaction or any of the reaction which we will study ahead is oxidation or reduction. So basically you just have to understand this topic, alright? You don't have to remember this for always, you just have to understand it and keep this in mind. So reduction follows the opposite points of oxidation when the carbon atom in the organic molecules, because we are talking about organic compounds. So the carbon atom in the organic compound bonds with less electronegative, less electronegative element, and it can be any one which is less electronegative, but like hydrogen. This is one point. Second point is when there is gain of hydrogen or loss of oxygen. You just have to memorize this, alright? So oil rig, and if there is a reaction which is little more of a depth, you can use these tips. So now I will give you the definition of respiration, and it is very simple to understand. This is respiration is oxidation of complex organic molecules in which the free energy released is used in the formation of ATP. That means we are talking about the complex organic molecules or the complex organic compounds which are made up of carbon. Alright, when these are oxidized, now you know what do you mean by oxidization. Alright, so all the carbon atoms will pair with either oxygen or lose, or there will be a loss of hydrogen. When there will be a loss of hydrogen, what will happen? The bonds will break, right? The hydrogen which is attached will be lost. So there will be the breaking of this organic compound, and this will release free energy which will be utilized to form ATP, formation of ATP. So this is what this definition is saying. You can note it down. So I want to clear it out that respiration can be of two types. First is the physical one, physical respiration, and second is the cellular one, cellular respiration. So physical respiration, I know you are saying now I know it. Yes, physical respiration involves breathing. Yes, you are correct, you are thinking very right. Breathing, and it could be pulmonary or exchange of gases through the cells, cell to cell, or it can be capillary exchange of gases. Alright, next is in plants. In plants, there is exchange of gases through stomata. Alright, through stomata. Now, cellular respiration, it is simply aerobic or anaerobic. If you want to give a simple answer to types of respiration, you can give this answer, this is correct. But if you want to go in a little bit of detail, then you can say in the cellular respiration, fine, there is the form a very important process going on which is called as glycolysis. Alright, this process always occur. This process always occur in all living organisms who respire. After this glycolysis, there is a formation of a product known as pyruvic acid, and the fate of this pyruvic acid, the fate of this pyruvic acid can be aerobic or can be anaerobic, right? That is, the pyruvic acid can be processed in the condition which are aerobic in the presence of O2 or in absence of O2. Alright, this is the basic detail of two types of respiration. This glycolysis is going on in all type, aerobic also, anaerobic also. Basically, glycolysis do not require any oxygen. Alright, so this point is very important to remember. Which is that point? That glycolysis do not require any oxygen. There are further processing of the product of glycolysis, pyruvic acid, which will require oxygen at some point of time. But glycolysis itself requires no oxygen. So now we have to understand this glycolysis in detail and see my next video about glycolysis. Thanks, I hope you like it and you understand all of this. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification icon, notification bell.